There's two predictable things that happen when you're feeling really stuck in life, and maybe you relate. One is that your nervous system, your body completely shuts down and all your problem solving skills just go out the window. And the second is that because you feel like you're stuck and you're repeating the narrative that you are stuck, you just go back to what's comfortable. You go back to the default. You just go back onto your hamster wheel, you loop-de-doop, you go to your old patterns, your thoughts, your beliefs, your narratives, and you just go back to what is familiar. And maybe you relate to any of that, because if you're somebody who's feeling stuck in any way, shape, or form, you've been there, right? All of us get there in a different way, but sometimes we feel like I don't really know my purpose, or I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or I'm looking for inspiration, or I'm looking for my intuition. Can I trust myself? Or I don't know what's next. There's a new chapter that I know I'm supposed to start, but I don't know what it is, or I'm in a new chapter and I don't, right? Like there's all of this kind of like energy of change that gives you this idea that you are stuck. Now, in this conversation, I'm going to help you reframe this idea that you're stuck and actually get to the core of why it is that we believe that we're stuck and what to do about it. Now, first things first is that if you're not already subscribed to the Playground Podcast, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe. And second thing is that if you clicked onto an episode about, feeling stuck, you probably resonate with that in some kind of way. Okay. So as you're listening to this conversation, I'd love for you to keep that in mind. Like whether that is, you thinking about a decision that you want to make, and if you feel like I don't really trust myself, or I don't really know what to do, or I'm feeling, blocked in, or I'm feeling closed in, there's this energy of like stuckness that you might be dealing with. So keep that in mind as you're listening along. Now, the thing that I want to say to you is that the more that we repeat something, especially this idea that I don't know what to do, or I don't trust myself, or, I'm stuck, it reiterates your nervous system being in that shutdown mode. It feels like it can't really problem solve. It feels numb. It feels uninspiring. It feels heavy on the physical body. It can also feel like closed in, right? Like you're in this box and like you're trying to break out, but you don't really know how to break out. There's this energy of like, this is happening to me. I'm stuck, right? Like thinking about yourself in this like little tiny box. And that's essentially what your nervous system is experiencing when it goes into this freeze state. Now, if you're in this loop-de-loop area, I said there's two things that happen. One is that the nervous system shuts down. And the second one is that when you don't feel like you know what to do, you kind of go back to the old. You go back to like, hey, I don't really know like what career decision I'm supposed to make, or, if I'm supposed to like leave this like toxic relationship. You're just like, I'm going to wait another month. I'm going to wait another year. And as soon as it's been 5 years, right? Like you're complaining about the same thing over and over again, but you're on this loop, you're on this pattern, and you cycle back to this idea that you need to make a change, and then your body shuts down, and then however it goes, you're back on that cycle without being able to make a change. Okay. Now, again, if you clicked onto a conversation about being stuck, like you're ready to make that change. You know what I mean? It's like you're sick of it, right? It's causing you enough anguish in any kind of way, whether mentally or emotionally, or like maybe physically you're feeling like blocked in or boxed in some kind of way. You know that you want to make a change. All right. So go ahead and take a nice deep breath in with me. Inhale in, exhale out. Exhale. Good. Okay. Now here's the thing. When somebody's repeating over and over again, I'm stuck, that's a lie. Okay, because if we were to probe and prod you, not like that, but if we were to probe and prod you, you would actually know what the solution is. You would know like, oh, I need to make this choice. I need to make this decision, or here's what I want to do. And so essentially what's happening is that you're looking for permission to face your resistance. And your resistance is your shadow work. You are looking for permission to go into your shadows, to say, hey, if I know I need to leave my job, what is the shadow of me not actually making that decision? If I know I need to leave this relationship, or I need to move to a different town or a different city, or I need to get rid of this, or I need to add this into my life, you already know the thing, you already know the solution. So if we were to like shake it out of you, you'd be able to come up with that solution. But because your nervous system is in in that shutdown mode, it almost feels terrified to even like speak out the solution. It's like, what's going to happen if I like say it out loud? I'm going to have to get over the idea of feeling stuck. I'm going to have to stop repeating the fact that I'm stuck, because now it's self-created stuckness. And I don't want responsibility for that. I want to be like, oh no, look at society is making me stuck, and look at the world making me stuck. Look at my family making me stuck. That's the easy route, because it's like, wow, look at me. I'm so helpless. I can't do anything. Like everybody's like, ruining my life. And it's like, okay, cool. But if you're actually wanting to be unstuck, you have to give yourself permission to face that resistance. And I'm not saying that the resistance is like, ha, he, hoo, so nice and airy. It is the shadow work, because that's the part of us that we say like, wow, I'm going to have to be brave now, or I'm going to have to tap into my own courage. I'm going to have to tap into my own needs. I'm going to have to draw boundaries. I'm going to have to ask for what I want. I have to, and your body's like, oh no, shut down. Point one, right? We said your nervous system either shuts down or it goes back into that loop. It goes back into what it knows is comfortable. It goes back into the default of your being. So being unstuck is really about tapping into your resistance. Now, when you look at the resistance, it's going to change your life. It's going to change the way that you approach problems. It's going to change the way that you approach your obstacles. It's going to help you be more realistic with yourself. And I'm not saying realistic in a pragmatic way that like, oh my gosh, you lose the magic in life. It actually helps you have more magic in your life. The mystical energies start to kind of come up, because it's to say, am I stuck, or am I actually preventing my soul from making the decision that she needs to make? Am I stuck, or am I actually preventing myself from being able to take the action that I need to take? Am I stuck, or am I just like categorizing everything into one big box because I'm afraid? And my nervous system is confirming that. My nervous system, whenever I'm shutting down and whenever I am afraid to make decisions, it's going to feel very constrictive. Like that box we were talking about, it's going to feel like I'm closing in. The space is getting smaller. It's getting harder to breathe. I'm feeling more irritated. I'm feeling more frustrated. Smaller. And then you have a choice here, because you can say like, all of these things are happening to me, and all of these things, I have no control. I have no agency. I have no, autonomy over my decisions. Or, which is the thing that I hope you do, and it does take a little practice to do it, because if it were that easy, then everybody would. The other part of this is to say, I give myself permission to face my discomfort. I know there's some ugly shit that I need to face, whether it is my abandonment, and that's why I don't feel like I'm going to follow my dreams or really do the things that I want, because I'm actually used to being abandoned. And so here's me abandoning myself in the meantime. Or perhaps you're sabotaging your opportunities, or you're sabotaging your network or your friends or your relationships or whatever context you want to hear this in. You're sabotaging all these different things because a part of you enjoys being in that box. That's that comfortable pattern. It's that comfortable loop. It's the comfortable, let me go back into my default, even though like mentally I'm unhappy, emotionally I'm a wreck, and then my physical body is getting constricted and smaller, and maybe I just like being a victim, like maybe I just like feeling sorry for myself, and I like other people to feel sorry for me, like look at all these different things happening to me, And when they really are, then that's a other category. But if you're feeling stuck in life and you have the resources of information, you have the resources of creating opportunities for yourself, and to be able to network with other people to help your dreams come true, to collaborate with people who are doing the things that you want to be doing, to fill in the blank, right? If all of those things are at your reach, right? You can tell a story that I can't, or I don't know how, or all of these different things are happening to me. Or you can make a choice. You could say, I'm giving myself permission to meet my resistances. And of course, your body's not gonna like it. Your feet might be clenching. As I said that, my feet were clenching. Your stomach might feel a little ew about it. There's all of these different things that are gonna happen in your physical body that says like, I'm afraid. And this is where you start to regulate your nervous system. You regulate your emotions. You say, let me take a few deep breaths, because I know that me facing my resistance is what's going to help me allow myself to change. This is what's going to help me get to the things that I want to get to. Because like I said before, it's not that you don't know what you want. It is that you deeply know what you want, but something is in the way. And this something is not this like random, like, oh, I don't know what it is, a part of me. We could be victims like that and just say, I don't know, I don't know. Or we could give ourselves permission to understand that the resistance is where the growth is. The resistance is where you pull up your big girl panties and then you make the choices that you need to make. So sometimes it's going to take you a while, right? Because your nervous system is going to, resist it. Your mind is going to resist it. Or, you can quantum jump right to that decision. You could just say, I'm making the decision, and today here is this version of me that makes the decision that is difficult. And you can practice it that way. However it gets to it, however you jump or leap or, slowly crawl to that, here is the permission that you need to give yourself in order to meet your resistance. Okay. Now, here's where you have to be real with yourself, because I said there's two things, right? One, that your body shuts down, and two is that you're in a loop-de-loop pattern. Now, which one are you? Like, where are you? Is you in one? Is you in two? Are you in both? Are you enjoying like a buffet of the above? Be real with yourself, because if you recognize that your body isn't shut down, and I've definitely recognized this about myself, where it's like, oh shit, I didn't know that I was doing this. I didn't know that the procrastination or the perfectionism or the, prolonging making decisions or making things, not today, I'll do it 3 months from now, or here's the thing that I'm going to do next year. Like, to prolong decision is actually your nervous system going into a shutdown freeze mode. And in fancier words, it's functional freeze, because it's not like everything in your world is shut down at the same time. Sometimes everything is shut down at the same time, but sometimes certain things can get shut down without you understanding or recognizing that they're shut down. So if you're noticing that there's certain things that you've been prolonging making decisions about, you've been prolonging starting or continuing or editing or whatever context it is, recognize that your body's here. The second option I said to you is that you might just be looping in a very predictable way. Is that you're going to get sick of your shit, and then you're going to want to do a thing, and then you're going to, procrastinate, perfectionism, I'm not good enough, hey, what are these stories? And then you're back to square one. It's like, no, I'm ready to make a change, but I'm going to ride the wave because that's the comfortable thing. And sometimes we've been on the wave for, 10 years, a decade, and sometimes it's just a shorter amount of time. It's 3 months, it's the 6 months. But wherever it is that you are, when you recognize that's where you get to take your power back in your hands. You say, I'm going to take that agency back into my hands. I'm going to give myself the autonomy to make decisions that are not me just like being on autopilot. And it's not me just being as a victim, and me just not like complaining and blaming other people and, all the external things that are happening to me. It's like, it's everybody else's fault, And it's not to say it's your fault, but the more you don't face your shit, then it becomes actually your fault. At a certain time, it changes hands, it changes its face, it changes its shape, and it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe you're the culprit of your own happiness. So the big decisions that need to get made is for you to decide to face your resistance. On the other side of your resistance is something that you already know exists. You know that there's the fill in the blank, it already exists. You have to be courageous to say, I want that thing. I want what's on the other side of this. All right. So friends, I hope this conversation helped you out. And just remember, the world is your playground. And until next time, I will catch you soon.